Hello and welcome to Devi Daly Yoga. I'm Devi, and this is a practice of yin and yang fusion, a slow flow practice where we're going to be moving through some kind of traditional vinyasa movements and then move it into a nice slow and easy and relaxing yin yoga flow. Let's go ahead and start on hands and knees. And in hands and knees, taking cat and cow, rounding your spine, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone, and lifting the spine, lifting the gaze, taking a little back bend here. And now rounding the spine, tuck the chin. And inhaling into a back bend, lifting the gaze, lifting your sitting bones. Exhaling to round. And inhaling, last time here. And as you exhale, tuck your toes, bring it into downward facing dog, walking the legs, bending one knee at a time. So we're starting out with more movement, more yang, and then we're going to slow it down toward the second half. Continuing to walk your legs. And now let's go ahead and drop the knees and take it into a lunge with the right leg stepping forward. And now with both hands on the inside of the front foot, walk this foot out to the side a bit so it's kind of on the edge of your mat. And take your right hand on your knee and let's do a twisted dragon pose here where we just kind of move into the hips, feel the hip joint, feel the stretch in the front of the left thigh. You could look up if it feels good, or you could look a different direction. And now taking this front foot back into a place that feels stable to support you while you tuck your back toes under, straighten this back leg, and lift the right arm up. Good, and now bringing it back down and dropping the back knee down to the ground. And shift your hips back, coming into half split. And exhaling and soften forward over the leg. And now as we inhale, we'll flow with some movement, lengthening the spine, shoulders on the back. As you exhale, bring it back down. So make sure your back knee is comfortable. If you need some cushion, fold a blanket underneath it. We'll inhale again and lengthen up, finding a straighter spine here, and then exhaling and letting go of the straight spine, allowing it to round. And last time, inhaling and exhaling and bringing it down over the front leg. And shifting forward onto this front foot once again. We're going to tuck the back toes, step it back into plank pose. Inhale the breath here. And as you exhale, drop your knees and come all the way down onto the belly. And lift up into baby cobra, just strengthening the back muscles here, not pressing into the hands. You could even hover the hands above the ground a bit, which can help to engage these nice muscles of the middle upper back. And now for the last breath or two, maybe it feels good to lift your legs up as well so that the whole back body's engaged. Upper back, middle back, lower back, glutes, hamstrings. One more breath. And exhaling, bring the legs back down. Press your hips up and back, child's pose. Breathing in child's pose, 2 or 3 breaths. And coming back up, hands and knees, tuck the toes to come into downward dog. Walk the legs in downward dog. Good, drop the knees and we'll take it to the second side of the lunge. Left leg forward. And your right hand on the ground, your left foot walking out to the edge of the mat, and your left hand on your knee to enjoy this twist as you find some slow, subtle movements in your hips, feeling into the front of the right knee, the front of the right thigh, maybe the front of the right knee as well. Good, and now walk this left foot back in, tuck the back toes under, straighten the back leg, and lift the left arm up to come into this lunging twist. Turning the gaze maybe up to the thumb or whatever angle of the head feels good here. And releasing back down, hands on either side of the front foot, tuck the back toes, and that half split pose as you come forward over the leg. You may wish to use blocks under the hands here. Exhaling to soften down, let your spine round, let your head hang. And inhaling to lengthen upward, feel the muscles of the spine engage. Exhale back down, softening. Stretching the back of the hamstrings. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, releasing back down. And now the last time here, feel all the muscles of the back engaging. And exhaling, bring it back down over this front leg. Relax for a breath or two. Beautiful. Let's bring it forward onto the front foot. Tuck the back toes under. Plank pose once again. Inhaling the breath here. And as you exhale, drop your knees. Come all the way down onto the belly and lifting up. So taking a low cobra this time, you could stay where we were the first time or begin to press into the hands and see how high you'd like to come today. We'll hold somewhere for 3 breaths. You decide what height. And releasing it all the way back down. Press your hips up and back into child's pose. And now coming back up to hands and knees, tuck your toes, take it into downward dog. And step your right leg forward. Dropping your back heel to the ground to come into warrior one pose. Sweep the arms over the head, bend into the front knee, and find this sense of strength in your legs so that your hips are low down enough that your thighs are engaged. And now as you open it out into warrior two, your hips will come out to your left side. Turn your gaze out over your right hand. And again, see what depth of the lunge feels like it really challenges your thighs. Maybe you want to widen your feet to get more challenge, or maybe you don't feel stable enough and you want to bring your feet a little narrower. And taking it into a reverse warrior, inhale the breath. Left hand to the back leg, right arm up over the head. Breathe into the right side of the ribs. And as you exhale, bring it back out into warrior two and into side angle pose. Right elbow on the knee, left arm up and over the head. Breathing. Great, and now take your left hand down to the floor next to your right foot. Come right into that lunge twist, right arm up into the air, maybe turning the gaze up. Inhale the breath. And as you exhale, both hands down to the ground, stepping back into plank pose. Inhale, and with or without the knees coming down, all the way through into your back bend. Cobra or upward dog if you want to keep it more off the ground. And exhale into downward dog. Breathing in dog pose. Very good. Let's take it into the second side with the left leg stepping forward and making your way to warrior one. Drop the back heel, sweep the arms up over the head. Finding the place where your legs are challenged. People get really caught up in the upper body in this particular pose and what the arms are doing, and really it doesn't matter. Your arms could do whatever. This is a pose about the legs, the lower body, strengthening the thighs, the hips. Let's open it up to warrior two. Same thing here. What the arms are doing, palms up, palms down, doesn't matter. What are the legs doing? That's what matters. Breathing here, feeling the stability through the soles of your feet as they connect to the earth. And now reverse warrior, hand to the back leg, left arm up. Breathing and taking it into side angle pose, elbow on the knee, right arm up and across. Breathing here. Any other variation of this pose you'd like to take, left hand on the ground if you wish. And now let's take the right hand to the floor next to the foot, coming into that twisting dragon. Breathe. And bringing it back down, hands on either side of the front foot, stepping back, taking it into plank pose. Inhale the breath, with or without the knees, coming down and through into cobra or upward dog. And exhaling into downward dog. From your downward dog, step one leg forward so that you turn to face the video and bend forward in a nice elephant pose. Wide-legged forward bend. You could have your hands or forearms on the ground. You could have the hands back behind you. Whatever you do with your arms, make sure it feels good as you stretch the backs of your legs. And now let's take it into side lunges. Bend over your right knee. Heel could come up or stay down as you wish. Gazing out over your left fingertips. Over your left toes, not fingertips, toes. You could reach your left arm out and then gaze out over your fingertips as well. And now let's come back up to the second side. Bending over the left knee. Gazing out over your toes or your fingertips, or your toes and your fingertips. And now let's take this right hand onto the floor, come back up to center and twist left arm up to the center or to whatever angle feels good as you twist your spine. And switch sides into the twist. Left hand on the ground in front of you, right arm up. Very good. Let's take this right hand down onto the foot or the ankle or the shin as we open it up into triangle pose. Left arm up in the air, or if you like some different angle of the arm, please feel free to play around with that. If you like having a block under your right hand, go for it. And taking this left hand down to the ground, walking it over to the other side. Left hand on the foot, ankle, shin, as you open it up into your triangle pose for today. And bring it down, Make yourself into a lunge. Make yourself into a lunge. And drop the back knee to the ground. And stepping back, taking it into a nice, easy child's pose. Breathing, softening here. And let's come up and take it into half saddle pose with the legs in front, and then left leg forward, right leg bent, coming back onto the elbows, maybe farther all the way onto the back. And as you find whatever way you're resting, you could also be resting back on a bolster if you like, then you might find some different things. Left foot could take these different variations. Left foot flat, left knee out to the side, left foot on top of the right knee. Whatever variation you choose, maybe even clasping, you want to feel this stretch in front of the right thigh, front of the right hip flexors, the psoas, and all this good stuff in here. Hands could be on the belly or down on the thigh or up over the head. And now we'll find ourselves shifting into yin mode as we soften and relax here. Taking some time, a couple of minutes on each side. If you find this pose doesn't work for you, if your knee hurts a lot, or you can't find a variation that doesn't hurt or doesn't do anything for you, I do have a whole other class on saddle pose, half saddle, and I will link to that below if I remember to, but you can also just search for saddle on my channel. And slowly coming up out of the pose. Sometimes difficult to get out of. We'll take it to the other side. Bending the left foot next to the hip. And making your way down. You might be staying right here on your hands. Or if you're at home and you have furniture nearby, that's the variation we look at in that other saddle video, is leaning back against the furniture. It's a wonderful variation. Breathing as you feel this length and stretch in the front of the left hip. And as you decide what to do with your right leg, just keep in mind this right leg is really just a lever in this pose. It's a lever to manipulate what the pelvis is doing, which is going to affect the stretch on the left side. So whatever you do with your knee maybe up to the top or out to the side, or your leg straight in any direction. It's all just manipulating the stretch that we feel in the target area on the left hip flexors. Softening into the breath. And slowly releasing, pressing up out of the pose. We're headed onto the back for a rest of 1 minute. So take your time getting there. And find a comfortable position on your back just to feel what's happening in the body at this point in the practice, all of the energy that has been stirred and awakened. What are you feeling happening right now? And now please, bending the knees, hugging them into the chest, rocking side to side. Let's stretch into the outer glutes now by taking either a figure 4 pose or square pose. So left foot on the floor, right ankle over the knee. This brings you into figure 4, clasping the back of the thigh or in front of the shin. Or sitting upright to stack the shins on top of each other, right shin on top of the left, and coming forward like so. So that's where I'm going to stay, but if this pose is not one that you love, then get on your back or stay on your back for that figure 4. And softening, resting, relaxing into the pose. And slowly coming out of the pose on the first side and moving to your second side, figure four or square pose, left leg on top. Breathe. And slowly bring it up now, taking it onto the back for another rest, a rebound, feeling what's happening in the body, what are the sensations that are flowing, flooding through, especially that moment right after we release the pose. Sometimes there is that feeling of flushing or flooding of energy through the joints, through the hips, the glutes in this case. Relaxing. And bending your knees, hugging them into your chest. And with one hand on each knee, let's circle the knees around in the same direction about 3 times. Nice and slow. And then after about 3 circles, change to the other direction 3 times. And coming into your choice of a symmetrical forward bend. So if you're familiar with your yin forward bends, or if you have the Yin Yoga guidebook, you can take the snail pose, you could take the caterpillar pose, the happy baby pose. I'm going to offer you at this moment just 2 choices, which would be number 1 is caterpillar pose, coming over 2 straight legs, or if you want to widen the legs and come into dragonfly pose, then take it like so. This is our last posture today, so allowing yourself to soften and relax into whichever symmetrical forward bend you're finding yourself in. Breathing, relaxing, and softening in whichever pose you are resting in. And softening into your forward bend, you might feel the stretch anywhere along your back body, the back of the legs, hamstrings, lower back, middle back, upper back, or the back of the neck, or maybe all of it. Softening into this continuous mesh of fascia that makes up the back body. And slowly releasing, and now coming into final relaxation on the back. Make yourself comfortable. Add any extra clothes or an eye pillow or cushioning or a blanket to get fully cozy on your back. Hands can be on either side of you. You could choose to spread your arms and legs out nice and wide if you'd like, which is what I feel like doing today. Or you could rest your hands on your belly. And once you find the place that you want to be and rest, and settling in for a few minutes of deep calm as you just feel and be and sense the energy that's moving through you, sensing the rebound of this practice, the effect on your tissues, on your fascia, your muscles, your bones, your joints, and sensing into the effect on your energy, your energetic body, your emotional body. Breathing easily and resting completely. And you may wish to continue to rest here longer, or to begin to transition out. Take a few deep breaths first and some gentle stretches of the arms and the legs. Maybe stretching the arms overhead, interlacing the fingers and pressing the palms away. And thank you so much for joining me for today's practice. I will see you next time. Namaste.